I'm Brenda Gear, the founder of PEEKaMEET. Welcome to the PEEKaMEET method. We're here to share tips and resources with freelancers, job seekers, and entrepreneurs to help them on their journey and overcome all the challenges of COVID. And hopefully we can find some opportunities in this. Tune in frequently to see what tips and resources we have for you. So we have Bri with us today, and Bri is quite a hustler, has her hands in a lot of things. So Bri, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do and where you work.
Yeah, sure. My name is Bri Sudduth. I actually am a Scrum Master contracting, right? So where I work tends to change every 12 months. But right now I'm a Scrum Master for Nelnet. Before this contract, I was a Scrum Master for Kaiser in their analytics kind of area and departments. And I'm also the CEO and founder of Goal Getter PM, where I do consulting on the side for smaller teams that have recently had to go virtual or were virtual already. And virtual team coaching is pretty much what I do for those teams right now. So it's been an interesting ride in 2020, as you can imagine, for me and the business.
So how has COVID-19 impacted your business?
So realistically, the opportunities to work with other companies has increased substantially due to COVID. I've been working with virtual teams since, good grief, I was like 23 the first time. So well over 10 years. I won't tell on myself how old I am, but it's been over a decade since I've been helping virtual teams. And with COVID, a lot of organizations and smaller businesses did have to quickly pivot to kind of more online maneuvering of presence of requests, just, kind of walking away from the whole brick and mortar of it all. So I've been able to help teams understand what their new strategy is. And a lot of the strategy was, okay, how do we function in this new virtual, world? Not everyone was doing that. But I've noticed one of my teams that I help with Goal Getter is a team of financial advisors. So I've really been helping them understand what their priorities are quarter over quarter and helping them visualize their work, because when you're not exactly in the office anymore, it's hard to understand what people are working on. So I've helped them construct several Trello boards to navigate their junior sales assistants, to navigate their work, to navigate their strategy. So really, kind of consulting and helping people find the tools to bridge the gap to make, the move to going virtual a little bit more seamless and easier to understand and navigate.
So what are the feedback you're getting from some of the folks that you've helped work remote?
So with the financial advisement team, what are they called? Legacy Tree. They're stationed out of Arizona and Colorado. What they've learned and loved about working with me was that I was able to help them focus on what's important for this quarter. They came in with a laundry list of just stuff they needed to do. And I was like, okay, you have a lot of clutter. You need to just pick a few things that are important right now. Start on those. See how far you get, and then pick something else up. So with them, it was the actual win for them was relieving their overwhelm. They were thinking they had to do all of these things at one time. And I was like, no, don't do it. You're going to hurt yourself.
Sounds like structure priority issues,
just
right?
Slow down. And I think one thing that I would just encourage anybody that's going through, that's alive right now, really just slow down, take a step back. It's okay. I'm encouraging people to do more reflecting than action. Actually reflecting before action, right? So that's kind of where I started with that team, and it did actually make a huge difference for them. And yeah, I can't wait to see how we're going to be, jumping into the next quarter.
So working with them remotely, are you using Zoom fatigue, or using another application?
And so that's actually what's interesting. I wanted to start them on using Microsoft Teams because, I'm like big on Microsoft, this Microsoft suite. So I started them on Teams. And one thing I quickly learned was that, and at this point, Teams didn't have like the view where you could see everyone's video, including the screen share. So that was the little bit of feedback I got, about Teams originally. They've like since changed that, but we've been using Zoom just because it is a little bit more widely used for them on a day to day. And when it comes to, my customers and clients, whatever platform they want to meet on works for me as long as we meet. So yeah, it started on Teams and went to Zoom, just because Zoom actually had that functionality they needed like all the time. So
So what are the main reasons that you wanted to use Teams? What did it have that Zoom didn't?
yeah, so I wanted to use Teams just so that I could keep everything for them in one place. In Teams, it's more than just a video conferencing kind of platform. You can send messages. You can write notes. You can whiteboard during a meeting. So a lot of the same things Zoom has. It's just a Microsoft product. I'm biased.
I can see
Yeah.
that. Did you have any friends or family that lost their job due to COVID-19?
To be honest, I may have I know a couple of people who had to shift the way they made money a little bit. I can't say for sure like what percentage of my friends lost their jobs, because a lot of my friends, have several like streams of income. But one of my friends who was actually, the friends that were affected were my masseuse friends, my stylists, my salon ladies, my go-to girls for beauty, right? So,
Hey.
and like I was like trying to buy services and like postpone the date of service. That got a little bit weird. But for them, they had to like find new ways to keep their business going. So one of my friends actually does like press on nails, and I meant to bring them, but they're like just little nails you could put on and take off though, right? So great for Halloween, you just want to click clack some stuff on your fingers and take them off, work on Monday. You don't want to look like a witch during your Monday stand-up. So she actually started creating these press-on nails that she sends around like the world now. So that was how she pivoted. But a lot of my friends just kind of found ways to make their business virtual until they could get back to their brick and mortars. But I did see, kind of my more creative friends kind of see a decrease in, just kind of demand and a little bit of decrease in value because, you're able to buy all these things online now, wigs, things of that nature. So, yeah, the beauty world was definitely a place where I noticed it was just a little bit harder to understand how to keep income coming in.
So how are they doing now? Are any of them out of business, or some of them are flourishing?
So actually, I think a lot of them took that time to regroup. And actually, with my friend that is doing the press on nails, I met with her before the pandemic started because she had another kind of virtual idea around planning. And so we talked about that. But when we were talking about that, her thing was, how do I deliver some like a product globally so that I don't have to worry about, and like we hadn't even been sheltered in place at all yet. This was not even happening. But I think even just continuing to have that mindset, what else can I do, really did help my friends who were kind of in a struggle during that time to quickly get back on track. So my friend who actually just did my hair, she got a shop out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I think it really forced people to step up or step down, you know what I mean? And pick something else. I've also had friends that had to stop doing their business, like my masseuse. She had to actually stop massaging for a while. But she would, make bath bombs, or she would make scrubs. But yeah, always thinking about what it would look like if you couldn't do your thing. These ladies are always good at that and always expanding. But I would encourage anyone to kind of start stepping outside the box and thinking about other things. Like me personally, I'm thinking about starting, kind of like selling a body butter, so I think it's just always having something in your back pocket that you're kind of leaning into. So, yeah.
So a lot of women and men, but they have children, and some were forced to quit their jobs just because they needed to be home to help homeschool them. Do you have any friends in that situation?
Well, yeah, the same, my salon ladies, all of them are moms. So, and it's so funny. Like my friend Rock, she's amazing. She's like setting out all these cute little, these little lunch trays that she has for her three girls, right? So, another thing for her was, she had to be home. So she does like nails. She also drives for Uber. And she was saying that she couldn't like necessarily like walk out to go do the Uber thing. It definitely was a kind of a shutdown for some of the moms I know. But one thing that I do know that a lot of the moms did were kind of corral around support groups, finding, those 15-minute yoga classes in the morning or 15-minute yoga, at the end of the day. Some of my friends who are yogis also started doing more online classes. And so there's nighttime yoga that I'm scheduled for tomorrow night. So I think people are really using cameras and videos to kind of still show people what they can do. And I think for some people, it might have been a little bit better because it forced them to get out there and meet new people.
So isolation was an issue, and so those are some good ways to at least try to communicate, even if it's virtually. Did you have any hobbies or side hustles that helped you through the isolation period?
Well, actually, it's interesting. I knew I wanted to accelerate Goal Getter, my business, my baby. And so in the beginning of January, I had signed up for this consultant program. So it went from January all the way to like September. So that actually gave me 50 hours of extra stuff just to do for my business. So that was one thing that got me through. But another thing that I did just independently was I started looking into more agile certifications. The fact that a lot of people are pivoting to virtual, it's perfect for anyone who's interested in agile. So I got a scaled agile framework for enterprise, SAFe, aka certification. And then what that actually did was open up the door of opportunity for some of the larger corporations, which actually landed me the job that I in the contract that I have now. So anyone really like that can take this time to learn something and get like a certification or some type of completion documentation, I say go for it and run with it. There's a lot of just different skill sets that are really important right now that companies are looking for. Whether you want to whether you want to be an employee or if you want to start your own thing and be a contractor, I feel like getting certified in these agile things is really pivotal right now because everybody's looking for some sort of a project manager to help them either continue how they're doing day to day or to help them achieve some of these new projects that, will lead to them being more successful in the virtual world. So yeah, if you can't work right now, get education. If you can't get education, start creating something, get your hands on something and just make it,
I think that's great advice. Stanford has a lot of free classes, so that's definitely something people could use. Are there any books, podcasts, blogs, or virtual resources you recommend for businesses, job seekers, or entrepreneurs that are struggling now?
Yeah, actually, I'm reading a few books at the moment. It's really funny. So I'm reading The Power of Habit right now, and The Four Agreements. Those are two of the books I'm reading right now. But earlier this year, I read The Alchemist, and that is one book that changed my life. That and let's see, I think The Alchemist is by Sao Paulo. And then the other book that I read that was really good was An Interview with the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And that actually was there too. It actually kind of shows you, and it's funny, I get on my friends about this all the time, like, stop blaming stuff on the devil. You played a part too. So like, but that book actually shows you how you actually get in your own way as a person, as an entrepreneur. Like, there's so many ways that you are your own devil, and like taking a step back and holding yourself accountable for that, it's like a whole new challenge in of itself, just because of the way I was raised. But yeah, that was one of the game-changing books. I really started understanding the role I play in some of the setbacks I've had, and how sometimes I keep setting myself back because I haven't shifted my mindset. But yeah, that was probably the best book I read this year. But I still have quite a few I need to finish around habits and stuff. So
Those
to
sound
be
like some great books.
continued.
The Power of Habit.
When you get good routines in place, it's easier to break habits and to identify them. So I would ask anybody who is struggling with habits to think about the routine. Before you go into that bad habit, there's usually a process, like, oh, I saw this and now I'm thinking about it and now I'm going to do it, so and then just kind of understanding, your weaknesses. Like, I don't know, I'm still triggered by sweet commercials. It makes me want to go get ice cream or whatever the thing is. But before that, I had to change it, like, oh, well, all that sugar would be tasty, but I have some perfectly good carrots downstairs and ranch. So
That's funny. I'm sure a lot of us would agree with that, but we probably give into
yeah.
that temptation. So you're
Yeah.
quite a hustler, and I admire and respect you very much because you just do so much. There's one thing that you didn't mention that is one of your fun hobbies, and you're quite the gamer.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, so, oh, and that's another thing. One of the things that, this forced me to do was get outside more. So on top of the gaming, I bought a kayak, and I've been kind of like just roaming around Colorado, finding still bodies of water to row on. But yeah, I'm still heavy into the gaming. As a matter of fact, I am probably going to do a little bit better with my Twitch account. And with recording and things of that nature. So yeah, it's actually been really, really cool meeting some of the other gamers in the community. Yeah, it's been awesome. It was
Are,
another way to quickly connect with people instead of feeling so isolated. And next thing you know, you're working with like 10 people you don't even know, and it's like you're doing stuff as a team. Getting
yeah,
things
that actually
done.
does sound like a good relief. Have you been
Yes.
involved of any of the fundraisers on Twitch?
And you know what, to be honest, I'm still like learning all the ins and outs of Twitch. Like, it is really an in-depth kind of situation over there. So little at a time, little by little, I'm learning more about Twitch every day. It's like blowing up like TikTok almost, but in
Yeah,
a different way.
definitely different, more interactive Twitch
Yes.
rather than TikTok. TikTok is more the isolation. You're the isolated one, but giving some
Right.
laughs or something
Yeah.
out there in the world. So I learned this year we all should have an ask, and actually I learned we can have up to 3 ask. We're in this together. We should win this together. What's your ask?
Hmm. My ask is to always challenge yourself. I feel like I feel like in some ways, this could be the best worst year. That's how I'm defining it. It's the best worst year. It's the best year for accomplishments, worst year for social interactions in person. I guess my ask is, don't let the obvious limitation be the only thing that's stopping you, right? Like, let's try to problem solve our way out of some of our challenges. Let's problem solve our way to excellence, is really my ask. Let's problem solve our way to excellence. And with that, don't be afraid to like reach out and ask those questions. If you need those kind of resources, you need feedback. Yeah, just dare yourself to be great, even with how tough it is. Imagine how much easier it's going to be after you change all your habits, after you define your routines and really get down to them. When we're able to move around a little bit more like we used to, like, life is just going to be so much better because you already don't have to think about the fluff. You've already taken care of it. So that's my ask.
That sounds like a great Pika tip. Reach out and ask. You don't really get the answer sometimes ourselves, right? So that's why we should utilize our friends, families, and acquaintances.
Yes,
Well,
totally.
great. I really appreciate your time today. You just had so much information to share with everyone, and we totally appreciate it. And covered a lot of topics because you are so multifaceted and so smart.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been great talking to you again. And yeah, let me know, what is your ask? What is your ask? I can't be all one-sided about this.
Yeah, I want people to reach out and just to reach out to their friends and families, and whether it's their job, their career, or maybe even isolation. I think some people probably in this isolation could form some PTSD.
Yep.
And there will be a lot of drug suicide and that kind of stuff. And for me, it's really important just to reach out, and it's okay to ask and tell people how you feel. And people are more than willing to help you, but they don't know what you're going through if you don't ask them. So
Sure. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And also sorry, not to like shamelessly name drop, but I'm a score.org mentor as well. And it's a program under the SBA, the Small Business Administration. It's totally free. So if any of your PEEKaMEET, people that I'm so excited to meet on the app want to actually ask some questions, score.org is where they can go. They just, need a quick, they have a professional question, need some more answers around their business. That's a good resource that I'm heavily looped in with. So just want to definitely let, anyone listening know, especially when it comes to your business, score.org is a wonderful, wonderful program. It's totally free. So yeah, if you have questions, that's a good place to go.
hey, that's real value in sharing that. Also, the Comments on Champa has power hours, and that's another resource. So you can virtually go online and see the events. And they're just always ongoing. It's like Score. So I think Score does a lot of mentoring as well, right?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, I love all these resources, and I think a lot of people don't know about them. So I guess it's our job to tell them.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, Bri. I really appreciate your time today.
No